Hey guys, what's up? It's Andrew, and today for you guys, we are going to be taking a look at how to get the diamond camos in Black Ops 3. And you guys may be wondering, Andrew, the game came out like 2 months ago, why are you doing these videos now? And the reason being is because when this game came out, I got into zombies, a little way too into zombies, and I just didn't want to play multiplayer. And then it wasn't until recently, I think it was around January 2nd, it is now January 23rd, so I'm going to let you guys know something. Around January 2nd, I started really getting into multiplayer, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to start going for the diamond camos, because I did that in Black Ops 2, and I wanted to do it in this game, and they finally added a reward for that, because I remember getting all the diamond camos in Black Ops 2, and there was no reward for that, and I was like, this is kind of stupid, there should be a reward for getting all the camos in the game. They finally added that in Black Ops 3, so it kind of made a goal for me to actually do it again in this game, and that's why I'm going to be making these videos, so I can spread the knowledge, help some of you guys who are having trouble. And there are a lot of bullshit videos out there on YouTube that are rushed, they are half-ass made, and they don't give you any diddly squat tips at all. And I'm here to actually help you guys get those camos. I'm going to be giving you guys tips, what I did, and really just try to help you not only improve as a player, you can also get these camos a lot faster than how you might be playing Call of Duty right now, and I just really want to help you guys get your camos. So without further ado, let's jump into this video, and I hope you guys enjoy. And here we are. Here's what the diamond camos look like after you get the finishing product. The weird thing about this is, as I was recording this, I got to see the ICR's diamond camo for the first time, because it was glitched for me. I couldn't see it for some reason, and I don't know why. Also about this is, all the attachments that these guns have right now are the suppressor, extended mags, and quick draw, because I had a lot of legendary suppressors for some reason on the assault rifles, so I just wanted to see them for myself in game. I also wanted to see, because the reload animation with the extended mags is a little bit longer, so it would give you guys a little bit more to look at the gun. As you can see, some of the guns have some engraving on them. Some of them are just bedazzled like a 3-year-old did it. But, you know, it looks pretty cool. I think it's a pretty cool camo and definitely worth going for. It definitely grows on you as you use it more, but I did not like it when I first got it. I was like, this is stupid. This looks so dumb. But trust me when I say this, the camo does grow on you, and I think it looks pretty nice. And as you can see, all the guns here in their glorious diamond camo forms. And without further ado, let's jump into the challenge. Alright, and here we are at the Create a Class screen. Now, I'm going to be giving you guys the class setups that you need to benefit yourself to get these camos easily. Now, this is going to be how to get your headshots. All the headshots, you've got to go through all the first 3 camos, all the way up to 100 headshots to unlock Policia. Now, the attachments I suggest for your gun is going to be reflex, laser sight, extended mags, and a quick draw. And the reason being is because, actually, let me explain the game mode you're going to be using first. Stay away from core mode. If you're going to be using core as the mode to play because you're skeptic about hardcore, I suggest taking off the laser sight and putting on high caliber, but I really suggest not using core mode for your diamond camos. It will take a lot longer, and trust me, you will feel a lot more satisfied playing hardcore, and you will get used to hardcore a little bit quicker. I suggest staying away from hardcore TDM though, because there are a lot of team killers, and it's just not an enjoyable experience. So, the reason I have these 4 attachments set up here is because the reflex sight will allow you to aim at the head a little bit better. I suggest putting on either this sight or this sight or this sight, you know, one of the sights that make it easy to aim for the head. Don't put on something crazy like this smiley face or this pencil or these worms. Put on something like this that'll like circle around their head to make it easier to know that you're aiming at their head, or this to make it easier to know where you're aiming, or something like this. Stay away from the zombies, reticles, stay away from those. Laser sight, because if you feel like you're in a sticky situation, you can use your laser sight to aim for the head and possibly get a headshot kill. I suggest not doing this for every kill though, because it'll make it a lot harder to aim for the head. Actually get those headshot kills, my bad. And you just won't be guaranteed a 100% headshot if you don't aim for the head. Like, by ADSing, laser sight doesn't always guarantee a headshot. So if you find yourself using the laser sight more than you're using the reflex sight while you're playing in game, I suggest taking the laser sight off and putting on rapid fire or something, just to make sure you get your shots down. And rapid fire will make your gun kick a little bit more upwards and make you have a little bit easier of a time aiming for the head if your gun kicks upwards and makes your gun aim straight for the head. So I suggest putting on rapid fire if you're not very keen on using a laser sight or you find it affecting your gameplay. Now, the perks you're going to want to run is, I suggest the biggest perk is Ghost. Reason being is you'll stay off of people's mini-maps. I know a lot of people say that Ghost isn't a good perk in this game, but UAVs are not getting shot down as much as they were as the game first came out. Everybody is getting their diamond camos for their launchers, and there's still people who need to get their diamond camos. So yes, UAVs are still getting shot down, but not as much. So Ghost is still a pretty decent perk. I don't feel like it needs to be buffed. Maybe adding a few abilities to it, but I don't see Ghost being a bad perk as everybody is saying it to be. I also suggest using Sixth Sense, because if you don't feel like using Ghost, Sixth Sense will allow you to see people who are creeping up on you or just trying to be a sneak. Flak Jacket as well, because you'll take less explosive damage if you don't feel like running Ghost as well. And it just makes it for an easier time, because I cannot tell you how many times I've died from random grenades in this game. I suggest staying away from these three, because Blind Eye isn't really going to help you, because you're not really going to see too many aircraft in hardcore, because people usually die a lot more in hardcore. So Afterburner, because you don't really want to be boosting around everywhere when you're going for headshots. You want to stay on the ground. Overclock, because you don't really want to be using your specialist ability when you're going for gold camos, unless you actually want to work on your specialist character as well as your gold camos. Now, I suggest, once again, staying away from the three perks that are here, unless you don't want to use quick draw. Use fast hands. There's a lot of perks in this game that can be switched out for attachments, and a lot of attachments that can be switched out for perks. So make sure when you're building your class, you stay smart and don't throw on like Scavenger if you have extended clip, or quick draw if you have fast hands, like I just said. Make sure you play smart and really just put stuff that you think is necessary. So, like I said, I suggest staying away from these three, because fast hands you got a quick draw on, or flip it around and put on a different attachment for your quick draw. If you don't want to use quick draw, maybe grip if you want to be a little bit more accurate. Ante up, because you don't want to be focusing on your score streaks while you're going for gold camos. So stay away from this perk. You don't want to be going for your score streaks. Cold-blooded, because this isn't really going to help you. You kind of want people to target you, so you kind of don't want to be cold-blooded. You want people to target you and come at you, and so you can shoot them in the head. Pretty plain and simple. Tracker, I suggest kind of staying away from this perk as well, because it makes you chase after people, and that's not what you want. You don't want to chase after people. It makes you very vulnerable, and I just don't really feel like this perk was a very good perk to have in the game. Yes, it's good in theory, but really down on paper, it's a bad perk that gets you killed more than you actually get kills with it. Scavenger, I suggest putting this on if you don't want to put an extended clip. I just explained that. So Scavenger, is a good perk, but the perk I really suggest for this is Hardwire, because it'll keep you from getting tracked by other people's Sixth Sense. It'll keep you from having too much digital imprints of your footprint when people are running Tracker. It will keep you immune to counter UAVs, power cores, EMP grenades, smoke screens, and won't trigger trick mines or shock charges or C4 alarms when you run past them. So this perk is just all around, I think, the greatest perk, tier 2 perk. So run Hardwire, that is my suggestion. Now, once again, here in perk 3, or tier 3, we have all these perks, and I suggest staying away from awareness if you don't have a headset. If you have a headset, put on awareness. It'll definitely help you out. You'll be able to hear people in what direction they're coming from. If you don't have a headset, don't run this perk. Blast Suppressor, don't put this on. Like I said, you want people to target you, and if you don't have Ghost on, and if you don't have this on, they'll see you, they'll come after you, and it'll make it a little bit easier to get your headshots. Also, if you have Blast Suppressor on, it's just a waste of a perk in my opinion. Nobody really looks at the mini-map for the little thrust things. They're not very easy to see in Black Ops 3. So, this perk isn't really useful in my opinion. Gung-Ho, I say use this perk. This perk could be really helpful when you are trying to do the other challenges at the end. Not really much for headshots, like I said. I suggest Dead Silence or Tactical Mask. Stay away from Engineer. You don't really want to be focusing on people's kill streaks while you're going for headshots, like I said. Stay away from Engineer. I suggest this perk for a later diamond camo, but we'll get into that later when I do that video. So, that's all the perks. Basic rundown of what we just went over. You're going to want to stay away from basically the 3 perks right here in this L form. You're going to want to stay away from these 4 perks over here unless you want to switch out Fast Hands or Scavenger for attachments. I suggest staying away from every perk actually in this area except Hardwire, unless, like I said, you want to switch out your Quick Draw for Fast Hands or your Extended Mags for Scavenger, your choice. Now, here, I suggest staying away from these perks if you don't have a headset. I suggest staying away from, or using this perk if you have a headset, and staying away from these 3 if you have a headset. And that's basically it. So that's the rundown of the perks you're going to want to be using for headshots. Alright, now we're going to move into Bliss and Burnt. And with Bliss and Burnt, what you basically have to do is get 50 kills with no attachments and 50 kills with 6 attachments. And these you can work on basically at the same time. So what I like to do is create 2 separate classes, one on the gun that you're working on for gold. Put all the attachments you can on it at once. And the second class, make it to where it has all perks, or like you could put a tomahawk on it or something, whatever you like. Just make sure it has no attachments. So you have both of the classes you need right there basically. All you gotta do is jump into any of your favorite game mode, whatever your favorite game mode is, get 100 kills with the weapon. Basically, when you finish up one camo, switch to the other one, and you're done. And the thing that sucks about this one is you need to wait until level 34 to unlock the attachment wild cards. So what I suggest doing there is just unlock it with a permanent unlock. Unlock the tier 3 one like I did. I'm going to work on unlocking the second attachments wild card soon. Just to help me out with the gold camos, and I think if you do waste your unlock tokens on those rather than guns, it'll help you out a lot better than just wasting it on a gun, because you could get that gun, all the camos you need, but you'll need to wait until level 34 to actually get it gold, which sucks in my opinion. So, like I said, use an unlock token on the wild cards for your guns, and you should be able to do this easily. And make 2 classes for these camos to switch off. As soon as you finish off one, you can finish off the other, and that's all I got for your Burnt and Bliss camos. We're going to be moving on to Ardent and Battle. Now, I usually get these 2 before I get these 2 done. But some people, that may not be the case. I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. But on Ardent, what I suggest you do is you're going to want to run this class right here. And I actually didn't even really mess around with the perks that much. But, yeah, I suggest using this class right here. You could put on whatever else you want. Like if you want a Semtex or Tomahawk, put that on. But this is the class I suggest you use. You're going to want to go into a hardcore game mode, like I said. I'm going to put up some long shot spots up here on some of the maps for you guys right now that I'm recording in custom games. Now, before we get into the long shots, all of these long shots that I show you will be able to be done the other direction. So, as I show you right here, pretty much every long shot I show you can be done from the other direction, basically applying to any other thing in Call of Duty. So, some of these may be game mode based. I will show you. The only reason I showed 2 right there is on that map is because that's the only one I can find. If you guys can find another one, rip me a new one in the comment section below, but that's the only one I can find. This map, this one has a lot more. This one probably has the most long shot spots out of any map in the game. The reason I'm only showing you guys long shots on 3 different maps is because I'm going to have a whole separate video on this in the future, so make sure you go check that out. I'm going to be showing every long shot spot I know of in every map, so prepare yourselves for that video and go check that out. The reason I'm only showing you on these 3 maps is because these are the 3 maps that I find popping up in the rotation the most. These are the 3 maps that I find easiest to get long shots on, and some of you guys may be like, but Andrew, there's easier long shot spots like the one in the middle of Hunted. That's why I didn't show it in this one, because everybody knows about that spot. All you gotta do is camp in the middle and shoot at the other enemy team spawn, and you'll most likely get a long shot. These are just for people who wanna do it on a different map. They're not on Hunted. They can't find those easy long shots. These are just some easy spots to just sit in and wait for somebody to come into your tracks and annihilate them. Now, as you can see, this map is basically every long shot I showed you on that side of the map can basically be flipped on this side. Basically, everything is a layout on this side of the map as it is on the other side. So, pretty much, the reason you see me point and shoot at things is that's kind of the general area they gotta be in for you to get a long shot from there. So, I'll show right here. that means you have to shoot them in the doorway. That means you can shoot them anywhere in that area. That means you can shoot them anywhere in that area. And here we are. We're going to be moving to this. So this spot is indeed a free-for-all spot. I suggest using this in free-for-all if you spawn here because it's really good. Especially in hardcore, 1 shot to 2 shot kill at a distance like that, and you get a long shot. I think that's pretty worth it. And right here's another free-for-all spot for your long shots, and I show you right here that this spot is actually reversible as well. You can sit up here on top and pick the people off from the bridge or down there as well. You can also do it from the ground area of the right of that spot. Right here is also a long shot. Not many people know about this spot. If you manage to get them at the very end of the hallway, you can get a long shot. Right here, everybody knows about these long shot areas, but I'm just showing them off just in case you guys need to know that they are there. I suggest getting on top of this radiator because you can get long shots on people who are down in the middle of the map off of this one, and same thing with the sandbags. You can get people who are on the ground if you stand on that sandbag rather than white in the window. This is another free-for-all spot. You'll see people spawn from the right of you. You can pick them off, and here's the vice versa to that spot I showed you earlier. And so the reason I say use a reflex sight is so you can aim down sights and be a little bit more accurate. Like I said, stay away from some of the crazy ones. I suggest these 3 in this L form factor. I know a lot of stuff in this game I suggest is in that L form factor. I suggest a grip so you can be a little bit more accurate, and long barrel so your damage stays throughout that distance. And if you want a little bit easier long shots, put this sight on. This sight, for some reason, is cutting people's long shots in half when you use the more zoomed out mode. So if you want really easy long shots, use this sight in the zoomed out mode, and you will, or not the zoomed in mode where like you see closer, the zoomed out mode so it looks like you barely zoom in. It will make your long shots for some reason decrease in range, and you will see that. So that's the class I suggest for long shots if you don't get that done by the time you're done these 2. Battle, like I said, you're just going to want to put on a class that's comfortable. If you don't have it done by the time you get these 2, just run into an objective game mode and get that camo. Now, just one more camo to go, and that is Chameleon. This is the one that most people do like look for tips on, and I understand that. This is the hardest camo out of all of them to get, and it's basically 5 Bloodthirsties. And you know, it can be challenging. Like, you may want the best attachments, you may want to look for tips for the best class for that gun, but my tip to you for these Bloodthirsties is play a game mode you're comfortable with. Don't just go into domination because you know the games last longer. Go into TDM if it's your most comfortable game mode. Go into free-for-all if it's the thing you play the most. Whatever game mode you're most comfortable with, go into that game mode. Don't just jump into one because you think you'll get a lot of kills. Now, the second tip I have for you guys is don't be afraid to be a little bitch. And what I mean by this is don't be afraid to camp. Don't be afraid to head glitch. Hell, don't be afraid to fucking sit behind a wall that is shootable through and just shoot people through it for days with a thermal sight or something. I don't care what you do. Get this Bloodthirsty camo and then just stop doing what you're doing. Go back to playing normally because we don't like little bitches in the Call of Duty community. Now, that is just my 2 tips for you. Pick a game mode that you're comfortable with and a class that you're comfortable with. I know I didn't say that, but make sure the class you're running you're comfortable with, because if you're not comfortable with the class, you're obviously not going to get the Bloodthirsty. So make sure you have attachments on the gun that you know you'll do good with. Don't just throw on a laser sight because I told you to. Don't just throw on extended mags because your favorite YouTuber told you to. Don't just throw on this because your friend told you yesterday that it gave him the ability to go on a monster kill streak. No, just do what you think feels right, and just that's what I have to suggest to you guys for Bloodthirsties. That's all I have. Wow, that took way longer than I expected it to, but I hope you guys are still around with me. I hope you guys are still breathing, thriving, you know, living. I hope you guys still are. If you are, please make sure you hit that like button. If you aren't, hit the dislike button and rip me a new one in the comment section below. You know, just do whatever you want, okay? I'm not going to sit here and tell you what to do. Do what you want. Have a good day. Hope I helped you guys get your gold, diamond, dark matter camos. Whatever you're going for, I don't know what type of player you are. I don't know if you're just going for gold, diamond, or dark matter. Let me know down in the comments below what you're going for. Actually, I kind of want to know what types of people are watching this video. If I'm just getting the casual players or the fucking hardcore monsters. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next video or some other video on my channel. See ya.